Hi guys, Abin here. I will be talking about the Frost Wizard, which is played with the Delsere set, the new set released in 2.2.
I will start with themization, which is probably the most important part of the build. So first, obviously, you will need 6-piece Delsere for this build. On Elm, focusing on Int, critical hit chance, Arcane Orb damage, and 1 socket. On chest, you want 3 socket, Int, Vit, Elite damage reduction. On pants, 2 socket, Int, Vit armor. On boots, you want Int, Vit armor, Arcane Orb damage. On glove, Int, critical hit chance, critical hit damage, and RCR. And on shoulder, you want it, Vit, armor, and RCR. Why do I put RCR on glove and shoulder? It's because Frozen Orb is really costly, and it will help drop the cost. You will need focus and restraint for the build. Obviously, you want critical hit chance, critical hit damage, and 1 socket on both of them. But for the fourth stat, I prefer to get Intel in one and RCR on the other, since you have to reduce Arcane Orb cost. For your belt slot, Witching Hour is obviously the best choice, but Fleeting Strap is easy to get. You can craft one, so if you cannot get your hand on a Witching Hour early, it's maybe the way to go. As for Saffron Wrap, it has RCR on, and it can help with Frozen Orb costs, but I won't recommend it since you lose a lot of damage. As for your Brasser slot, you have multiple choice. Ancient Portent Defender is probably the best if you take the Stun rune on your slow time. Roland's Folly is good if you get Twister inside your build. As for Strong Arm, if you get Black Hole in your build, it's maybe a good idea. For your Amulet slot, Hellfire is the best since you get a 5th passive with it. But otherwise, you can go for about any amulet. Cold Resist is really good since Frozen is probably what will kill you in like 1-2 tick. But the most important thing here is 1 socket, cold damage, critical hit chance, critical hit damage. As for your source, there's no other way to go, it's triumvirate, otherwise your damage output will be really low, but really low. And finally, weapons. You can take about any weapon which has elite damage or cold damage, but here are the main one. Sunkeeper is the best weapon you can get for Frost Wizard, since you have elite damage and it's multiplicative with everything else on your build. Uther's Roar is cheap, you can craft one. Jester will be really hard to get since it can roll about any portion damage, not only cold. And Azarath is also a good choice since you have high percentage chance to freeze on it. As for your gem, you want Molten Wild Beast Gizzard, mostly for survivability. Zeus Tone of Vengeance for damage and Bane of the Trap for the same reason. I've tried Ice Blink, but you don't get as much damage as Zeus and Bane, so it's not really worth it. Now, here are the spells that I use for group play and for solo. GRift 40 over. For your primary, you want Magic Missile with the Frost rune, so you can trigger Triumvirate and Focus and Restrain. As for your secondary and your main damage dealer, you want Arcane Orb, Frozen Orb, since it's the strongest orb. It can double hit once on his way and another time on the tip. Few people know that, but that's why it is better than Arcane Orb. For the remaining spell, Teleport Safe Passage is the way to go for teleport, because Safe Passage give you 25% resistance to everything. Slow time, you want either Point of No Return, which stun for 3 seconds enemy that came in or get out of your orb, or the buff rune, which give you 15% more damage against enemy inside the orb. For your third slot, you want either Magic Weapon, Force Weapon, which will buff your damage, Energy Twister, which relents fully, so you can group up mob, or Black Hole with Strong Arm Bracer. As for your sixth slot, you have no more choice but to take Energy Armor with Force Armor, otherwise you will only get one shot by every mob. As for your passive skill, I use Cold Blood, which will buff your damage against each chill or froze enemy by 10%. Illusionist, which will allow you to teleport or drop another slow orb if you take, I believe it's 20% of your life in damage, or it's maybe 10. As for your third passive, I'm using Glass Cannon, but you can swap it for either Astral Presence or Prodigy if you lack in Arcane Regeneration. And your last passive will probably be Blur to mitigate damage against enemy. As for gameplay, there's nothing much to say. It's about, like all wizard, dodge, range attack, don't get close to enemy, stay back to proxies. Other than that, there's only one special mechanic with Delsere, which is the Frozen Orb first and second proc. It will do full damage for each proc, and you need to align yourself to be able to make your full damage. This will take a bit of practice, but in the end, like I said, it's the only specific mechanic for Delsere Frozen Orb. Thank you for watching. Like if you like, subscribe if you want. I will let the gameplay continue until the end. Have a great day, guys.